You know, simple as that.
Yeah, I'm just gonna jump straight to the review because I got some shit to do tonight. Anyway,
Yes.
my ear is itchy like a motherfucker. Shit. Yeah, let me ask you a question. When it gets hot outside, does your ear sometimes like wet up or just get moist or some shit?
Moist?
Yeah,
What you mean?
like your ear, does it get like itchy and does it get like wet and so you feel like it getting wet inside or some shit?
You gotta clean your ears, yo.
I do. That's the thing. I do clean my ears and shit.
Okay. So, I don't understand. Your ears get wet when it's
Yeah,
hot.
sometimes, yeah.
Yeah. That's the stickiness from the moisture from the ear. You know what I mean?
That's true.
Your ears be feeling sticky.
A little bit.
That's from the heat.
You said that's from the heat?
Yeah, that's from the heat.
Yeah, I be cleaning my ear with like hydrogen peroxide and shit.
That's when all that. Oh, that's when you just wake up and all that heat and moisture is on you. You gotta jump in the shower.
What's up, CD Glore? Now watch the new generation talking about, oh, this album's a classic.
It's not a classic, and I've already heard people saying it's the album of the year. It's not the album of the year. Let's stop that shit. People get excited. I get it when the veterans, the legends come back, and you ain't hear niggas for 26 years. But no, it is not album of the year.
I know Jalen fucks with the album.
He called me about it. I'm like, it got some tracks, but no, it's not album of the year.
At least it's better than Carter Six.
I didn't hear. I'm over Weezy, so didn't hear it. Don't care to hear it. Little Wayne ain't made nothing good in like 15 years. I could care less about what he come out with.
Shit. Q said he never heard this album. It just
It
came
just
out.
came out. No, I hope he did.
See, this Nas and Primo, man, this better be hype.
I'm telling you, there's a lot of pissed off fans if that shit come out and it's no good.
This is like 20 years in the making.
Impossible.
Yeah, I'm about to start this in like 2 minutes. Maybe Slick might drop another album next year. You never know.
Yeah, right. You'll take another 26 years to come out with something.
I just can't wait for this movie to come out. That's what I want to see. maybe the album would be better with the movie explained.
Let's drop it on streaming already.
Speaking of streaming, you been watching BMF?
Yeah, been good. Yeah,
Okay, let me start this shit. All right, what's up, y'all? How y'all doing? It's your boy Reg in the building. I got my homeboy trying to build it with me and shit. How you doing?
um,
And today's album we're going to talk about is Slick Rick with his recent album Victory. This is his first album in 26 years and everything like that. This was released on Master Pure Records. You know what I'm saying? Nas's record label and shit. It was pretty much executive produced by Nas, Idris Elba, and Slick Rick. Producers include Dirty Harry, Mandy Argonis, Martin Akin, and Rodriguez, Parker Egal, Pro Logic, Q-Tip, Worry. If this ad can move, I can finish reading the name. Give me 1 second. Rory Taylor, Show Improve, Slick Rick, and Troy White. The only guest appearances are Gigs and Nas. So yeah, man. Slick Rick the Ruler, and everything like that too. We should all know who he is. He's a hip hop legend. You know what I'm saying? Um, we all know he started out rapping with Dougie Fresh. He did songs like The Show and Lottie Dottie, which pretty much was some of the earliest influential tracks in hip hop and everything like that too. This is when he was known as MC Ricky D. And then he he joined Russell Simmons Rush Management, and he signed to Def Jam Records, where he pretty much dropped the classic debut album Great Adventures of Slick Rick, which is pretty much my favorite album from him. One of the most influential albums in hip hop history. You know, that pretty much made everybody want to tell stories in their rhymes and shit. Like, he really wasn't the first storyteller, but he was the one that really put a lot of charisma in it. You know what I'm saying? Like songs like "Hey Young World," "Children's Story," "Treated Like a Prostitute," "Mona Lisa," all classics. So he was riding high at that time, but then what had happened was his mom had hired his first cousin, Mark Plummer, as a bodyguard and stuff like that. And this was pretty much the beginning of the end because pretty much he was trying to extort money from Slick Rick. He was trying to kill him. Like there was a story where he came home to his spot and he found bullet holes in his front door and shit like that too. So fast forward to 1990, Slick Rick pretty much wanted to put an end to all this bullshit. So he saw his cousin and shit like that and pretty much fired some shots at him. And one hit his cousin, and another one actually hit like a passive someone passing by. And luckily the shots didn't kill them, but he was still charged with attempted murder and assault with the firearm and stuff like that too. And he pretty much stood on the ground of self defense. You know what I'm saying? And so while he was like getting ready for a sentencing, he had pretty much put out was working on the Ruler's Back album from 1991, which I personally feel that that's a very underrated album and everything. That's actually my second favorite Slick Rick album. Songs like "It's a Boy," "I Shouldn't Have Done It," "Venus," "Moses." Man, that whole album is very a lot of fans don't like that album, which I find that to be very crazy and shit. So while that album was out and everything like that too, like it wasn't as commercially successful as his debut, but he still did his thing, and he was serving a 5-year sentence and stuff like that too. And fast forward to 1994, he had pretty much got work released, and he pretty much put out the Behind Bars album, which I know a lot of fans love this album, but I'm gonna be real with you, I did not care for bars like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it has nothing to do with Slick Rick. It's pretty much the production, which I'm gonna get more into that when it comes to this album, though. But I just feel like the production wasn't really up to par. It sounded like something that could have been used for anybody at that time. You know what I'm saying? It just kind of felt kind of half-assed to me. But I understood because he only had like a limited time. He didn't really have the full creative control compared to what's the albums, like the first two albums and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So around that time, he pretty much was still on Def Jam and stuff like that too, and he was pretty much released. He was released in 1997 and stuff. You know what I'm saying? And he was working on his fourth album, The Art of Storytelling. Now, this was a very successful album for Slick Rick, and I think this is actually his most successful album to date. You know what I'm saying? My thoughts on the album. I never really expressed my thoughts, but I like the album. I do feel like it's better than Behind Bars, but I wouldn't really call it a classic album. You know what I'm saying? It was a good album, but I just feel like there was a lot of, you know, I, there was a lot of guest appearances I could have done without. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Everyone did their thing on this album, but I just felt like a lot of it was like a lot of braggadocio songs. Maybe because I was kind of expecting more like storytelling in a way, like Street Talking with Outkast, classic, love that. Me
Mhm.
and Nas, me and Nas, Bring It to Your Hardest, that was pretty dope. You know what I'm saying? I Run This was cool. You know what I'm saying? Adult Only, that's vintage Slick Rick right there. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Maybe maybe I gotta re-listen to it, but I remember it just didn't really hit me compared to other fans and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? And I know a lot of people want me to do reviews on those albums, but I don't have those albums in my collection as of yet. So at the same time, I'm trying not to do a lot of reviews on albums I don't have in my collection, unless if it's a certain album. If it's a donation, then that's fucking different. You know what I'm saying? But so that was like his last album for a good minute. And around the early 2000s, he was pretty much going through immigration issues and everything like that too, because it was a story when he was performing on a Caribbean cruise, and he was spending some time with his wife, and then the next morning they busted in the cruise and they arrested him like that and shit like that too. And he was pretty much refused bail and everything, and they were trying to deport his ass. This is pretty much one of the crucial things on why he hasn't really dropped a lot of music. Like mostly he's just been doing guest appearances and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? And so pretty much he had gotten a granted a full pardon from New York Governor David Patterson and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? Because Slick Rick at that time he was doing a lot of mentoring and stuff like that too. He was staying out of trouble and stuff. You know what I'm saying? So and he pretty much did a lot of donations. So he pretty much just looked into that. And after that, Slick Rick, he's still been doing guest appearances. He still does live shows. I've seen him live once and stuff like that. Very dope
I
show.
saw
I
him.
think,
Yeah,
yeah,
I saw
live
him.
and shit. Yeah. And around this time too, a lot of cats was like sampling Slick Rick, covering his songs. Like people like Snoop Dogg. Yo,
Mhm.
Snoop much covered. He did one of the best Slick Rick of Lottie Dottie from Doggy Style. Black Star, I know they did a cover of Children's Story.
Yeah.
Saying a lot of people sampled Lottie Dottie, the show. You know what I'm saying? Biggie's Hypnotized, Interpolated, and stuff like
Mhm.
that. Lottie Dottie. And the list goes on and shit. You know what I'm saying? And so fast forward to 2018, he had announced that he was working on an album, and pretty much he was getting ready to drop like a re-release version of, I think it was like the 30th anniversary of the Great Adventures of Slick Rick. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And he had dropped a song called Snakes of the World today, which I fucking love that track. You know what I'm saying? And I thought we were gonna get that kind of sound on this album, but we're gonna talk about that. And then it was revealed like about late last year that Slick Rick signed to Master P Records, which was Nas's label. And Master P has been on fire and stuff like that too, especially when it came to the Nas Hit Boy run. You know what I'm saying? And Nas has said that he was going to drop albums from Ghostface and Mobb Deep and the posthumous Big L, Nas and Primo joint. You know what I'm saying? And pretty much he was talking about hip hop legend. But at the same time, they already revealed that, Slick Rick has signed to Mass Appeal and everything like that too, you know what I'm saying? So yeah. So Victory came out literally last Friday and shit, and now we're here. You know what I'm saying? What's up, Romero? So this is the album cover right here. You know what I'm saying? Just him covering his face and shit like that too.
Me
You know what I'm saying?
too. Cover your face and shame.
Yeah. So this album right here is very interesting because he pretty much did like a lot of skits and short songs. It's like a lot of the songs are like a minute or two and stuff like that too, which is very surprising for Slick Rick. You know what I'm saying? But we're gonna get this shit started. Track number one is the Victory intro. Um, Nice way to start out the album and stuff like that too. It has like a spoken word from the producer Manny Argones talking about, you got to defeat your enemy, you got to win the battle. I like the intro. It started off right. I'll give it that. You know what I'm saying?
This is the only form of an interlude or a skit I would have kept on the album because it actually goes with the album. You know,
Right.
yeah, I liked how it started off.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. Got you hyped and ready and stuff like that too. Um, Track number two we got is Stress. This features Gigs and stuff like that too. Gigs is pretty much a British rapper. I don't know too much about Gigs. I'm being real with you, so
That's
I'm not gonna act like.
Drake's boy.
Oh well, say
He
less.
was he was on what album it was? Was it Views? It was some Drake album I heard him on first. I think it was Views. It was that one.
Understandable. I feel you. But yeah, this is actually a pretty dope song. I do like the flow he was doing and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? I kind of feel like he kind of did this song years ago. But he kind of like reworked it a bit. You know what I'm saying? This is that Slick Rick I fucking like and shit like that too. Gigs, I don't think he was really needed on this track. I'm gonna be real with you, but it is what it is.
I like the track. The track is banging. Giggs did his thing on here. Liquid did his thing. One of the very few tracks I actually like on here.
Understandable. All right. Next track we got is Angelic. This one was okay. You know what I'm saying? Pretty much it's like one of those reminiscent kind of tracks and everything like that too. You know what I'm saying? Just talking about his life growing up. My issue is the beat. Which is going to be a lot of things I'm going to say about a lot of these tracks. You know what I'm saying? I just felt like the beat kind of felt more soft. You can tell you were trying to go for that radio airplay with this beat. That's all I want to say.
I thought the beat was fire. You know what I'm saying? I like the beat. Slick Rick saying, head in the cloud now, head in the crown brown, getting me now brown. I'm accepting me now found. It's like I said, like the beats. He did the beats. People forget Slick Rick is a producer. He's always been a producer. He's always produced his own stuff. He didn't run and
Yeah,
get
I know.
the hottest producer. His beats are tailor made for his style. He has like that London, the British
Right.
accent, the reggae sound. That's always been his style. Like the beats are no different on this album than it was on Great Adventures of Slick Rick or any of his other albums. Like he tailor made the beats for his style. So I thought the beat was fine.
I'm not gonna go. I'm not gonna go that far because you gotta remember, Great Adventures. You had help from Bomb Squad and Jam Master Jay and stuff like that too. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
but
saying?
even
Like,
yeah, but the Bomb Squad production on that don't sound like shit that he did for Public Enemy or Ice Cube. They
it
tailor
didn't.
made for his style.
Nah, exactly. Like when I hear the production on this album, I don't know. It's just like some of the production towards the second half, I would say it's a notch up some of the first half, but when we get to those house tracks, I'm just gonna
What
say my thoughts on that.
the beats are not even the issue for me. Like I love the production. The issue is the other shit. But the beats to me were fire on here. I love the track. I think this should be a single.
I respect your opinion. I respect it. But yeah, next track we got is Foreign. Well, we talk. Well, yeah, Foreign. Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Of course, just giving showing love to the British heritage and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? British and Jamaican heritage and shit. Because people forget he's also Jamaican as well. You know what I'm saying? Again, I mean, I got what he was trying to do with this track, but I didn't like the beat to this one either. To be real.
I like the beat. I love the reggae sound for it. It's like a dancehall, vibe. And again, like the first half of this album, like from the victory intro, the track 4, I thought was dope. And then we had started having issues after that.
Oh, interesting. Okay. All right. Next track we got is I Did That, which is pretty much a spoken word skit. One of the issues with this album is too many spoken word and too many weird skits. But this is one of the few skits I can fuck with because he's just going down his receipts. He's just letting people know like I did that. I made one of the best. I made some of the most quoted hip hop tracks of all time. I pretty much brought the bling culture to hip hop. He did all that. He's a survivor. Like I get it. I feel like this skit was warranted because people forget. Slick Rick did a lot of shit. A lot of your favorite rappers are trying to imitate to this day. You know what I'm saying? Like even back in the day, his jewelry game from like 88, 89. Cash Money cannot even touch that shit. I'm sorry.
Yeah. This I think this skit was part of the trailer. It was alright.
Yeah,
And it was okay.
understandable. All right. Next song called "Come On, Let's Go." Jesus Christ. This is where we start having issues. Like
Hmm.
he got this house beat that felt like it was a beat Jungle Brothers did not want to rap on and stuff like that and everything. I mean, and Slick is trying to do his thing, but I'm just like, nah, I could have done without this track. I'm gonna be real.
Well, from what he said, he's saying that the two house joints on the album was from Idris Elba. Idris is a DJ, and he heard him playing house music when he was DJing, and that's what gave him the idea to do the house joint on the album. But even if that's the case, number one, he didn't do shit with it because the track was short. It sounded more like a commercial,
Right.
and I don't think he would have sounded good on the house joints anyway.
No, you don't. I like Idris Elba and stuff like that. He's definitely a goat and stuff like that. But at the same time, I'm just like, nah, nigga, like stick to acting. Like this don't fit Slick Rick, please, no. But
Yeah.
oh yeah. Next track, and probably our favorite track, Landlord.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? This is the shit that I want to hear from this Slick Rick. Like, first of all, the production had that summertime vintage Slick Rick sound
Hmm.
and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? Um, I love the chorus. Not easy at all.
Not
Not
easy, not
easy at all.
easy.
I love that chorus.
That's,
Just you said what?
yeah, yeah. I definitely agree.
Yeah, yeah. Talking about what he goes through as a landlord and shit, which I didn't know he was actually a landlord and stuff
Hmm.
like that too. You know what I'm saying? This is shit I wanted to hear from this project a lot. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? This and another track are probably only two great songs from this album. I love this line where he says, "You're 3 months behind, chick. I'm highly disappointed. Tired of hunting you down like America's most wanted. Now hurry up, my car is in traffic. Oh, great, another excuse not to have it. A poor kid short, Rick. Your excuses sure get sadder. But chick, you're not playing with my mortgage, my rent. Instead of letting her bird brain hot talk, I said find the rent before I boot you on the sidewalk."
Mm.
Man, this is like one of those tracks, man. This is This should be a fucking single. Like I can picture the video for this track, him being a landlord, a lot of people doing cameos and stuff like that. I
Hmm.
mean, yeah, this is definitely one of my favorites of this
Yeah,
album.
for sure. This should be a single. Definitely love the beat for this. The reggae sound for this. You know, he's saying, got till 9:30 to bring this. And I'm coming back to unscrew the door hinges. Got to bring a little effort. Make a motherfucker resort to these methods. Forgot where I come from, talk. When being landlord in the city of New York is not easy. Love the storytelling, and you can see a video for this. Like just him talking about the tenants in the building, and a great concept that we've never heard, and this is what people expected, for this album. And he didn't give us that. He gave us that in one song. You know,
Right. Yeah, man, it's fucking crazy and shit. Cause like this is probably the only song on the album I kept going back to and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah.
Like, oh my god, like this is the shit I wanted to hear from the album. But no, we got come on, let's have it, all that stupid
Yeah.
crap, man. But,
The Matrix and shit like
all
that.
right, next track. Oh my, don't even get me started, please. But next track is another skit, Mother Teresa. This was featuring him and Mandy Argonis. You know what I'm saying? Just some spoken word shit. I don't even know why he put this on here. I'm gonna be real
Right.
with you.
It wasn't needed. I didn't care for it.
Right. All right. Next track we got is Spirit to Cry. Um, I I didn't really care for this track. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I mean, I got what he was trying to do with this one, but at the same time, I just felt like I wish it was a bit more longer
Uh-huh.
and stuff like that too. I just felt like it was a bit too short for my taste.
Yeah. Yeah. Too short of a track, which is the theme, unfortunately, for a lot of these songs. Is just too short.
Yeah. All right. Next track is Documents featuring Nas. This is the other second favorite track that I fucking love on this album.
Same.
And stuff like that too. Nas and Slick Rick, who always do some marvelous work together. Of course, the good shit, Nasir Jones has to be featured on and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man. Yeah, man. Just some braggadocio kind of shit. You know what I'm saying? Love this one. Just braggadocio Slick Rick. You know what I'm saying? Nas also had a very dope verse. I love the line where he says, "Hit the switch, drop oil, and slide safe into home base." Not drop oil. Go out, place your bets. Subway Series, Yankee Mets, sticking up him again. Yankee and English men. Um, who's the best storyteller? Keep it or Wilt Timberland? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, this one was pretty dope. I love this one.
This should be another single. It's some landlords, and it's Nas. Nas gonna give a dope feature. And I loved his verse, and the beat was fire. This is the best two songs on the album for me.
Right. All right. Next song we got is So You're Having My Baby. This is another pretty dope song. The best way to describe this is pretty much it's a boy part two. You know what I'm saying? In a weird way. You know, pretty much old old girl trying to accuse Slick of being a father be the father of a child and shit like that too. You know what I'm saying? I wish another song I kind of wish was a bit more longer. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? But
Yep.
it's alright.
It was too short. The beat was dope, but it was too short. Like, you didn't give us the full track.
You said what?
I said he didn't give us the full track. It was too short.
Right, definitely. Next track is "Cause I'm Here." Another one of those housey kind of tracks, which I could have done without. I feel like he was trying to definitely go for that radio play with this one as well too. I could have came without this.
Yeah, this was whack. Then I like it.
All right. Then we got this more Matrix skit. You know what I'm saying? Which I'm just
But
like, okay, now we
I
just
don't know
throwing shit on the wall just to find
what,
out
what what
what's
was this about?
because I don't know
There's
what
no direction for this. Like, what was that about?
we just
13 seconds of crap,
we just throwing shit in the wall
bro.
at this
There
at
is
this point.
there
I
was
was
no
fine.
way. There was no way Slick Rick was working on this album for 6 years. There's no way. Not when you got shit like this on the album.
Yeah, I said to myself, nah, we're not doing this. We're not
No.
doing this at all. No. Yeah. At that point, I kind of took a break listening to the album. I was like, nah, I'm I was kind of disappointed because, mind you,
Kind
y'all, try try had texted me like at 4 something in the morning. I was already knocked out. I woke up to I had forgotten Slick Rick was dropping an album
this
last week.
this is why I stopped doing album reviews because of shit like this. There is no way. I don't care. You was lying to the public. There's no way in hell you was working on this album for 6 years and you gave us this shit. A 13 second skit with nothing on here. There's no way. I don't care what he said. He wasn't working on this album for 6 years. No, I refuse to believe that. It sounds like some shit he put together in the last couple, maybe the last month or a couple weeks, but not for 6 years. Ain't no way.
I want to hear the unreleased tracks of this album.
Yeah, I want to hear what unreleased tracks is that he left off with this shit. And you kept some of this crap on here.
Mm. All right. Then the next track is "We're Not Losing." Um, I didn't really care for this track. I'm be real with you.
Too short. I like the beat, but again, the track is too short. There's nothing here.
Right. And the last track on this album was another great adventure. I feel like he was trying to recapture the classic style of Slick Rick. Honestly, this one had the most potential out of all the tracks on this album. But I'm just looking at myself like this one could have been a lot better than what it could have been, if you ask me. You know what I'm saying? The beat definitely sounded like some James Bond, like fucking Starsky and Hutch kind of shit. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, this one was, it was alright.
This
I
is
don't know if I would have
this is
ended it off.
this is the one Q-Tip produced for him. You know what I mean? It sounded real quirky. Yeah, it sounded real quirky. It sounded like something MF Doom could have been on or Cool Keith. You know what I mean? I wouldn't have made it the last track. I don't think that would have been. I mean, this whole album got issues, but I don't think that should have been the last track.
Yeah, me
But
neither.
again, it's a short track. It was short.
All right. Overall, this was very disappointing, if you ask me. And I was expecting a lot of great things. I was like, okay, we might get something dope and shit like that. But this song, I was just very disappointed. The production was not what was expected to be. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's probably my least favorite thing about the album. And a lot of the things about Slick Rick, even if he has some subpar production, he always elevated his performance and shit. And even some of the beats could not even save Slick Rick. And Slick Rick, he did his thing on some of the tracks lyrically, but some of the concepts he was doing, like the Matrix skit and
Mhm.
the fucking mother, the skits. Don't even get me started on the skits. I felt like he was trying to do his own Mad Villainy in a weird way, because with Mad Villainy, you had a lot of those 1 minute, maybe a minute 30 to 2 minutes tracks. But the thing about those songs, they did their job right. It was definitely a slick concept with it, mixing with sometimes some abnormal beats and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? Like hip hop wise, that album was never. A lot of people try to even do that album over and over and over again. Maybe from like '05 to maybe like '07, '08 and shit like that too. You know what I'm saying? And I felt like that was a lot of these tracks kind of have like a dollar store Matt Villainy feel to it. Maybe it's just me. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's no disrespect to MF Doom. Rest in peace, MF Doom and Matt. And of course, you know, Madlib definitely did his thing and shit too. But still, it's just I don't know, man. It's just I was very disappointed with the album. I'll probably give this a 2.5 out of 5. And I hate to say it.
This album plays out like a mixtape. If this album was released in the 2000s, this would have been a mixtape because there was no way in hell that he was working on this album for 6 years. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I could not see Slick Rick in the studio picking out tracks for this album over the years and saying, "Well, you know what? I think Matrix should be on the album." A 13-second skit that was useless, and he's never done that. He's never had useless skits on his album. You know
Exactly.
what I'm saying? Not everybody could do like a short track. Like Ray and Ghost was great at that. Griselda, that ain't for Slick Rick. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like Nas is behind this. Like his handprint is all over this. When listening to this album, and it reminded me so much of how bad Nasir was, and they were overhyped that album when that was coming out. And I feel like Nas had a lot of influence on this album. You know what I'm saying? The skits were terrible. They didn't have to be on the album. The only thing I would have kept was the victory intro. Everything, all those other skits and interludes could have been off the album. The tracks were too short. There's only five real bangers on this album, and only two of them really should be singles. Documents with Nas and Landlord, the two best tracks on the album.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Supposedly Estelle is on the album. I don't know what track she's on because I don't hear her. So I don't know what track Estelle is featured on. Didn't hear her. You know what I'm saying? The two house joints, I didn't care for it. I don't think you should do it. It's not for everybody. You know, it was just a disappointing album. This is why I stopped doing album reviews, like because of albums like these. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's why I hit you up like 4 in the morning. I'm like, bro, this album they overhyped it. He got the movie coming out, and this is the shit that he gave us after 26 years. You know what I'm saying? Like, this would have been better off as an EP. Just put the best 5 tracks with the intro and call it a day. That would have been better. But to have 15 tracks and he's telling people that he was working on this in 6 years, he was not working on this for 6 years. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. I want to hear the unreleased stuff that didn't make this album. You know what I'm saying? The bright spot, I do like the production. I think the production fits him. You know, he knows how to produce. He doesn't get a lot of credit for his production. It goes with his style. You know what I'm saying? That's really about it. I just think the album is not good. This is one of those albums where now that we have platforms like Apple and Spotify, we can make our own playlist. Just take your favorite tracks from and put it on your playlist and scrap the rest of the album because it's not great. I heard people already calling it album of the year. It's not album of the year. It's not going to be album of the year. Trust me on that. It's not going to be album of the year. You know, it's not making my album of the year list. I'm giving it a 2. I don't think it was great. There's other albums that came out earlier this year that's better than this album. That's just what it is. And I hope the clips, I heard the clips doing the same shit. They're promoting their new album and talking about, oh, well, we recorded the album at the Gucci headquarters. Nobody gives a damn about that. I could care less. Y'all could have been in your mama's basement recording the album. As long as the album is fire. You know what I'm saying? Nobody cares about what elaborate place you record the album at. If the album is shit, the album is shit. So I hope they're not using that as a selling point, like telling people like, oh well, we recorded the album at the Gucci headquarters. Nobody cares. As long as the album is dope.
I was like, who gives a fuck about Gucci?
Yeah, it's like nobody cares about that. So If the album ain't dope, maybe that's why they keep saying that shit. But I don't care about all that. If the album is whack, guess what? I'm gonna say the album is whack.
Facts. All right, y'all. I would stay on and talk some more shit, but I got a lot of shit to hand. I got to get ready for the DJ gig this weekend. But thank you so much, for doing this. I know you didn't really care about doing a review on this, but hey, fuck it.
Hey, it's three more. That's it. That's all. And so far we started off bad with this terrible Slick Rick album.
Mm, right. Yeah, man. I would definitely drop. I'm definitely gonna drop a review maybe later on this week and stuff like that too. And then after I drop this pre-record, I'm gonna get back to my usual doing things. So this like my catch-up reviews. That could be doing some donations I gotta catch up on and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Also, sometime this week, Lashia and I are gonna do a review on this Straw movie. I gotta get in touch with her to see what time she's gonna be free and everything like that too. You know what I'm saying? What else? What else? What else? I definitely gotta drop another one of my collection videos. I actually gotta maybe film another episode maybe sometime tonight if I'm free and everything like that too. Yeah, I think that's it for right now. Be on the lookout for some dope content. You know what I'm saying? Also, next Sunday is going to be part three of our top 100 cartoons. This time we're going to do 50 to 26. I repeat, 50 to 26. And anything you want to say before we head out?
Wednesday, I'm going live with a rocker. We had a great live last week with Uncle Freezy came through and Ray Lansky and yourself. It was crazy for 4 hours, and somehow the debate was talking about Big Daddy Kane, and I don't know how that happened. I don't know how the conversation shifted to Big Daddy Kane, but we're gonna go live on Wednesday at 8:30. Thursday, I'm being interviewed by Mystic Goddess, beautiful woman on Instagram. She got her own podcast, and we're gonna go live on Instagram at 3 p.m. And next week, hopefully, next week I'll be at Rock the Bells in Jersey. Um, I want some tickets to Rock the Bells, so I want to do like some live streams at the event. Hopefully, I could do some live streams and some vids and stuff, and then I'm gonna put that up on the channel. So we'll see.
Dope. Yeah, man. Proud of you for what you got going on and shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
Um, y'all listen to this Slick Rick album. Y'all let me know what y'all think about it and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate trying this as usual, and I'll see y'all motherfuckers later. Peace.
Peace.